Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you hear me okay. All right. Everybody's seeing my screen. Let's do a little sound share. Everybody good? Somebody give me let me see where we're at. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Karen, Cheryl, Ricky, good morning, everybody. All right, I got some very, very cool stuff to show you. I think I've sort of yesterday after a massive, like I think I did about 100. I'm not kidding you. I think I did about 100 trades yesterday, but it really helped me refine the entry setup to like a super strong tweet. As a result of this, by the way, let me just show this to you so you could see I've really been snipering it today. So boom, 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 and I could have hit all these trades, but I was too busy writing my article. It's one of the things that I actually realizing that if you want to trade our setup on the 1 minute chart, you can't do anything else. Like you got to say, okay, I'm gonna these next 2 hours, I'm gonna scalp the NQ, and you do that because I find that you know if I'm writing, if I'm paying any, like it's a snooze you lose type of proposition, especially with the way I have it set up now, where it's a very specific entry entry structure. So everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing well. Miguel, good morning. How's everybody doing? Let me see who's in the room. Let me make sure that everybody is in here. Let me just post again. Okay, get in Zoom. If you want to learn to scalp now. Okay. Let's see if I'm going to give it a few more minutes to come in. All right. So first of all, before we even like look at the NQs, let's take a look at how well I don't know if you guys have been trading the OOs, but the OOs have been a monster winner for me. Winner for me. What else did I do today? No, this wasn't a trade. This is actually, yeah, this was a trade too. Another winner for me. And then I think it was this one. And winner for me. Literally four in a row, easiest trades in the world. Like took, zero effort. So working on that. I want everybody to kind of keep an eye on this. If you guys want me to share this indicator, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hidden publish on, because I don't really want to share this with anybody except anybody in the room. But if you guys want this on over the weekend, just message me. Anybody, like I'm only going to give it to anybody who's going to want this message, but message me and I will I'll give you the indicator. And you guys can actually follow the trades. But it's just been like, I'm telling you, just to review this week, I'm just going to look at my, hang on, just bear with me a sec. I'm going to look at my account for OO trades this week, okay? And I literally think there was 1, 2, 3. Wait, what is this? How come I'm not getting this whole? I want to do week. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I missed the euro, by the way, today because it blew up outside of my trading hours. 7 says 1, 8. Yeah, literally 8. Yeah, 8 winners out of 9. 8 for 1 on a 20-40 basis. Like you cannot. Um, what's the looks like wrong screen? What are you guys looking at? What are you guys looking at the screen right now? Are you looking at? I'm showing you the OO. I'm talking about the OO. Is that what you guys are seeing? Somebody confirm that to me. You're not seeing the OO. You're not seeing Euro Aussie sell the OO. Ricky, you're always screwing me up. Ricky, why are you always screwing me up? I'm talking about the OOs. So I'm showing all the trades. Pay attention. You always screw me. You always tell me I'm doing the wrong thing when I'm doing the right thing. Okay, no problem. No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding, Ricky. Don't be sensitive. Oh, you don't see me count. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm counting. I'm counting off my mobile because I am. I'm just testing it on my other MT4. All right. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave it out there. To me, this is gonna be the money trade for FX for 2021. Which I'm just gonna do this perpetually. We're just waiting for Daniel to codify the stuff for me. But I do have the trade view. So if you guys want this, just message me. I'll give it to you. Now, much more important. Ramification and analysis of my of the scalping, right? So Karen says to me she made like 6 wins, 1 loss this morning using reversal, or we're using a reversal EA. Oh, well, but you were using so the reversal EA is taking only trend trades, right? It's just taking trend trades in trend. Yeah, like basically taking breakouts. Is that what we're talking about, Karen? Just want to make sure. So you're just buying all the all the breaks of highs, which is great. Yes, I love that. I love it. It's a great structure. And as a matter of fact, the break of highs and lows, I can't tell you. Like again, I think we're literally 5 for 5. This week I posted this in the room. I know it was very late for everybody, but I traded this super easily. This is a super easy trade. You can actually see me trade this over here. This was the break. Look at the Asia session break right over here. Look at this. This is the Asia session. This is the Asia session break at 2027, right? $1,900. Boom, boom, boom to the downside. And actually, I was going for 5, and it collapsed. I don't know why the market just kind of. I mean, it was Asia Open. They were negative futures. They just sold it hard, and it was super easy. Now, what's interesting is, by the way, let's just go the other way, because this is. I mean, again, I'm sleeping here, but you guys are awake. Remember, there's 2 ends to every story. So we have the low, we have the high. The high was the 43s on the Asia session high, right? Now watch what happens. Let me do this. Here, it actually probably trips you up, I think. No, maybe it survives. It depends whether you had a 10 or a bigger stop on this thing. So this fails over here on the 43s. This captures the 43s and kind of slides back a little bit to about 34s, and then comes back up to 48s. So the pierce to the high was a little bit problematic. Then the second time the pierce to the high was just really, and this is the other thing I was going to say is, if it fails on the first time, sometimes the second wave is really the strong wave. So the second wave came in, really blew it up, and now basically, and then we had the highs at around the 95 level in the pre-New York session, and you just knew they were going to try and run the OOs if you wanted to trade that. And you could have taken, this was the break. Look at the break on the highs, right? I was just not paying any attention because I was busy doing something else. But the break on the highs. But I mean, those are kind of planned trades, and to me, the single best trade is just the Asia session break. Like that seems to be 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 1 trade per day. Sometimes you get lucky and the Asia session breaks both ways. And then after that, I mean, as I said, Europe will break Asia, but sometimes it's a fake break. sometimes it's not. I mean, I think it's still it's still a decent setup, but nowhere near as good as just the first Asia break on the move. Then we, of course, we can also trade the first 10-minute break of New York Open, which we'll do today. But across all this time, the really great setup, the setup where you come to the screen and say, listen, I got a couple of hours, especially New York hours or European Open hours where I have some movement in the instrument. What's the best way for me to scalp with our tools? And I'm going to show you just what I can, what took me so long to kind of fully grasp, but it's really the absolute best way for us to scalp, right? So first and foremost, let's just forget the reversal move. The reversal move meaning that we're buying from the low to the high, or we're selling from the high to the low. Let's just stop trading reversals. I love it. Everybody loves it, but it's like, I don't know, what's the single worst thing you could eat? It's like eating a Cinnabon. Most of you don't even know what a Cinnabon is, probably because you're like, you don't live in America, but Cinnabon is like this cinnamon bun with about 5,000 calories of sugar inside of it. It tastes awesome, but it is truly one of the worst things you can put into your system. And while it tastes good, the negatives far offset the positives. And to me, that's kind of the reversal trades are like the Cinnabon of trading. They taste awesome. They make you feel so smart when you catch the flip, but they're really retarded from a P&L point of view. And I mean, just like with Cinnabon, you can enjoy it in moderation, meaning that if you have you do this in tiny size on an account you don't give a shit, and you just do it for fun. But if you want to make consistent money, the only way to trade with our setup is the continuation trade. But here's the key, the really interesting key to the continuation trade that I've sort of refined as I go along. So we have the trend, what I call the trend curve, right? High over the low. This is right now we have negative trend, right? So we have negative trend curve, right? And then we obviously have the reference points start popping up. So the single most important thing to making sure that you have as high a probability of success on your trade is to enter your trade as close to the trend curve as possible. So what that means is, ideally, you almost want to, you want to enter the trade off of the 26 curve, the 26 EMA, if you have a signal there. But at very minimum, you really want to enter the trade around the 12 trend curve, right? So like right now, for example, like let's imagine I want to do a sell trade, a buy sell trade. So I'm going to set up a buy sell structure, and if next candle turns red, I would short it. Now that would work. That may work if it's a strong trend to the downside, but that is not a high probability trade, because the key thing is you don't want to be buying up on the trend curve. You don't want to be selling. Let me show you like where do we have? I need a big down. Let me just show you a big downtrend curve. You don't want to be selling on the downtrend curve, right? You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that because it may work, but it goes from an 80-20 trade to possibly to a 60-40 trade. You destroy your P&L. Sometimes maybe even 50-50 trade, right? So the critical thing is you always want to be selling near the curve, buying near the curve, if you know what I mean. Like, visually, if you can see this, it would be, let me see if I can do this, the highlighter. You want to be, right now you don't have any signals here, obviously, but even if you don't have a reference point, if you're seeing, a couple of green candles coming into the trend curve, then setting up your structure. So if you get a green red, you're going to be coming in over here. Essentially, you want to get as close to the moving averages as possible, because that's your location for the highest possible potential. So when you have a sell reversal here right next to the trend curve, it kind of touches the trend curve. If you go buy if you go buy mode over here, even over here, this is obviously very, very late, early in Asia, or early in Asia, late in New York. So very little volatility, very little movement and volatility here. But even here, even if you came in on this level over here, even though you have some retrace, you're able to survive it because it's only like 4 or 5 points of retrace, because your positioning is so much better. And then if the trend picks up, as you stay in trend, you're going to naturally get taken out. The thing that you don't want to do, and this is another thing, is buy up on the blue curve, the blue trend curve, right? You just don't, that this becomes a chase trade. So here, you have a sell. This is like a perfect setup. You have positive trend, you have a reversal sell, you set yourself up, this enters you over here, beautiful entry right into the move, right? All you're trying to do all day long is basically, what is this? Control Z. This is how do you get rid of this crap? I guess you have to go remove. Does it delete all drawings? Remove drawings. Okay. On the move. Hopefully you guys are understanding what I'm saying, right? And hopefully it's good. So here's a good example. We're coming into the trend curve right now, right? It's the buy reversal. So now I'm actually going to set my. Let's do both. Where am I? What time is it? 16? Yeah, why not? All right, let's put this on the. I'm put myself into the sell mode. And where's my 8? Let's put myself. Well, this doesn't have it on the CFDs, but we'll just use the futures as a guide for us. And let's see, if we're gonna put ourselves into a sell trade on this particular trade, because if we get a move in here and it turns red, we are within trend. I'm actually going to. Oh, I know why. Oh, that's interesting. Oh no, the futures was. All right, never mind. I'm going to kill the futes for a second here. Let's just look on the chart here. So yeah, no, this is the futures does show a bar reversal, but let's just take a look at and see if this indeed kind of shows, starts to give us a red bar somewhere within trend. This is, why is this a decent looking trade? We have negative trend. We obviously have a little bit of retrace action. What we're hoping for is that as the short covering comes up, the next impulse creates a fresh down leg, right? And the whole point is not to sell the down leg here, right? But to sell the next down leg here, because not only does this give you more room to operate in case there's a little bit further squeeze before it comes back down, but it gives you much shorter distance to travel to target. Both things work very well, and it's the same concept to the upside. You don't want to be buying over here because now you're stretched away from moving averages. You have a much larger retrace zone and a much further target zone. Whereas if you're buying here, you virtually no retrace zone and a much shorter target zone. That's how you change the P&L expectancy from a 60-40 to an 80-20 on a trade and make it much more viable. So does everybody understand the idea? What this obviously requires is some judgment with every reference point. That like not every it's not a blind. Let me just take every reference point structure. You have to look at the location of the reference point. The higher the reference point is to the moving average, the more you actually want to wait. The more you actually want to wait for any move back into the trend curve before you even initiate a buy-sell sequence, because you need to make sure that this thing. So let me see. This probably should have triggered me on the CFDs, right? Because where's my CFD? Yeah. Okay. So we're in a trade for 5. Let's see if this works on the open. And it's a little bit, it's a little, it's not a perfect. It's close to the trend. I would love to have been inside of it, but it's better. It's better than being here. So it's better than being at 2s versus 8s. We'll see if there's. This seems to be a little bit of a corrective move off of the initial big burst higher. So I don't necessarily know if the pre-market move going to help us, but it hopefully should collapse a little bit. Let's see where my CFDs are. probably didn't make, yeah, I was gonna say it probably didn't make me on the spreads. It came into like +3 and probably just didn't make me on the spreads. But let's see if it comes down a little bit more. This is a low. This segment low, the TP is actually below the segment low. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but still you can see it's a much easier move towards target than if you were at the bottom over here, where you would really required a much larger move, right? So let's see if this kind of moves in. Oh my God, this is so freaking slow. It's going to bounce around. I'm not, we'll see if this trade. I'm not holding my breath that this trade should have kind of moved in our direction already. So it looks like it's just holding bid here. So I'm gonna close before the market opens because I have zero interest. It may actually work, but you know me, I have zero patience for this stuff. That's why I'm trying not to trade the market open. But theoretically it's not a bad setup, right? It's just it's not a great setup because the entry was a little bit, should have been a little bit deeper. Should have been a little bit deeper. And you can see that they probed it for a couple of points, but just didn't quite do it. On the futures, I wonder what my entry in the futures would have been. So the close was here, was 7. The low was 350. So and then it wouldn't have made it on the futures either. It was like +3 on the futures too. So yeah, just kind of a quiet trade, but no harm, no foul. It's the most important thing is to begin to understand. So here's where it gets interesting. So now we're getting it's interesting. CFD is printing this, but the futures is not. CFD is printing a candle, right? And if you get like a buy sell candle on this sequence, I don't really love it. But if if you get a couple of green candles and then a sell candle, I actually would be very, very happy to short it from there, as the market clearly would put you in a much more favorable short position. The whole idea here is you want to stay on the side of the trend at an intelligent price using the reference points and the buy sell entry as your two tools of choice. And you can do that, especially in a strong trend. See, the thing is, in a strong trend, you don't have to chase it. The strong trend will come to you. It will come to you here. It'll come to you here. It comes to you here, right? It even came like here, for example. This was a trade I did. And see, this is why I kind of covered up, because I knew this looked like a little bullshit profit-taking move instead of a genuinely strong down move. So we'll let this one go. But on the other hand, I was going to say, if this a big burst up, and if we don't get a continuation back up, like if we get actually let's do this. Let's do this. Let's put a sell mode in here, and the reason why this could be an interesting sell mode is because we're still in a negative trend. If the market can't really bust up, if this is all the short covering they're going to do, then the probability of us getting into a quality short trade increases, because now we're closer to the other trend. If this rallies, we're not in the trade, so we don't care. If it doesn't rally, we're in a trade at a decent location, because we're right along the trend curve. Does that make sense to everybody? Let's see, it's got 20 seconds, man. It's just super quiet here. But anyways, the whole point is that during the day, and especially yesterday, today, you're going to get 2-3 hours of quality trends usually. And by quality trends means you're going to get 4 or 5 signals within a big trend slice. And the key thing here is to just be patient on those signals. Come in when they're close, when you're close to the trend curve, and that's going to maximize your chance of profit because you're going to be in the direction of the flow at the right price. So it's like, you're doing 2 things that are correct. And the beauty, of course, is like the combination of reference points and our buy sell tool makes it so much easier because you don't have to time, you just have to visually look at the chart, but you don't have to time it perfectly as far as execution because the tool will take you in if the structure sets up. So I got 16, 17. Maybe this is going to be a, let's see if this is going to be a sell candle. Maybe not. It looks like they want to rally. You know what? I don't love this sell candle. This is the only problem with this setup is that if the sell candle does not look strong, this is actually a buy candle that and it's actually a buy candle on the futures. So I'm going to close this up. So this is the only nuance with a trade is because this is CFDs and the prices are sometimes off like you can see on the futures, this is not a sell candle, right? Let me show you. It's a buy candle. So there's like really no entry, and you shouldn't be trading this when it's this marginal. What you really want it to be is you want it to close on you want it to be incontrovertibly red, so close on the bottoms. So that's why I closed it, because it was just it was a false tip on the CFDs. It's just an occasional part of the process with the CFDs. And now we're like sort of already genuinely turning up. And now I kind of stand down. I'm no longer interested in taking sell trades because the market appears to have stabilized and looks like now maybe ready to convert itself to the buy mode. We do have, what is this, 28, 29? The highs, I guess, here are going to be like around 30, right? This is the all-time session highs. If they run that and hold those might be worthwhile for us to trade. But we're going to try and stay to the 10-minute box on the New York Open to kind of trade those ideas that way. In the meantime, honestly, I've been so focused on NASDAQ, I have totally not looked at any of the other instruments. And I'm just looking to see if this thesis holds true, and it kind of really does. It really does. So, the thing that I look at, by the way, also is if you look at a Dow, for example. So this is still an uptrend, right? This is still an uptrend. As long as the moving averages are an uptrend, you're really looking to be a buyer. And look at this. This is the buy candle at the trend curve right here. It's a great candle to come in. Same thing is, a candle right on the trend curve, not a bad place to come in, for your structure. Ooh, NAS is just like collapsed on the open. Okay, so that's interesting. So they're taking it down and a profit making move. Now this is kind of interesting because what I'm watching here is, how they do the first fake out. Are they going to try and take the highs here? I'm gonna play this just for fun. This is going to be like the 20s, 24. So this is the pre-market high. They took out the lows. They took out the 1370s on the futures. So this was a big collapse. And by the way, like if you sort of really wanted to follow it, this was actually the sell signal that would have given you the sell decline. But it's the open, so I really don't want to play around with large volatility moves on the open as it stands. What I am curious though is here's the opening range, and it's actually 929. We're not even. It's not even like the market is not quite just open yet. And I'm just curious to see now if they're gonna where they're gonna run the numbers. So now we go back to negative trend, right? So now we're clearly like just selling it hard in the first couple of minutes. On the open, a little bit of profit taking, and we'll see where they mark the lows and the highs. Actually, might as well look at all three just to see what's going on over here. So what's interesting here is on the Dow, right? We're still in a buy mode, and if I go into buy mode over here, just for argument's sake, put this at 5 here, and this, we create a buy candle. That would be a mildly okay entry. Right now, NAS is still putzing around with the downside. It looks like they're selling everything down. DAX doesn't have any reference points, so we don't have any places to even establish our longs and shorts. It's pretty heavy selling. I'm surprised they dumped it so hard right on the open here. So now we're back to sell mode. But very, very stretched away from all the moving averages. So there's no opportunity for us to do anything until prices reconfigure themselves a little bit better. Actually, so the DAX, I want to put myself into the sell mode here just for fun, because even without reference points, if I am in trend and close to the trend curve, and I can do a sell signal on in this zone, that's still going to be a very decent looking trade for me. So we'll see. I got 6-7 seconds. This now is a buy candle. So only if I get a red candle after that does it create a trade for me. Oh, what I do? Oh, I had the buy candle still left. This is just me fooling around, having a fun time with a Dow as always. Boop, 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 come on, there we go. So I specifically left this buy candle on just because the Dow is such a perverse instrument. That Dow is the one place where you can buy the reversals, right? Big down move, and then this put us in this was the first buy candle off the reversal. So for shits and giggles, I left it there, and it actually worked. What's more interesting here is I'm actually watching the DAX, because the DAX is sending us maybe not. We'll have to see. 16, 17. So far, DAX is kind of moving all around. Wow, look at the spreads on this thing. What is this? 2? Is it 2 wide? Wow. Well, DAX turns positive, so there's no sell signal here. NASDAQ is incredibly overstretched away from the trend curve, so there's just no trades whatsoever. DAX now, this is sort of the principle in action. DAX, well, it's got 44 seconds, so we'll see if it holds. But if the DAX kind of holds the red candle here, it's not a bad idea. It's not a horrid idea to go short here, even though we don't have any kind of reference points, because it's within trend and it kind of reestablishes the trend structure that it's at. Now, one big thing is, like, I just didn't realize that DAX has got such slow movement and big spreads. Times that's 34. So we got 5 more minutes before we can really establish true range highs, range lows. So right now, the only thing we can look at is the DAX. All right, DAX goes, we're in DAX short. Let's see if that works. NASDAQ making fresh lows. Wow, really dump it on the NAS here. Oh, man, the DAX, Jesus Christ, look at these spreads. Come on. All right, screw it. You know what? I'm out of the DAX. You guys can hold on to the DAX. I hate the spreads on this thing. And it looks like it might be finally coming in. Yeah, there it is. As usual, I gave it up too early. So fine. If you held on to the DAX, that they got 5. Connie's trading the downside of the NAS here, big time. Let's go. I just want to go full screen NAS for a second, because what is it? It's 936. We're just really carving out highs and lows in a massive manner here. And so the NAS, there's two possible trades in the NAS that are setting up. One would be kind of a couple of green candles back up, and then if what we'll be looking for is a sell candle near the trend curve, which would really give us a decent entry. Because remember, look, it's super stretched out. They just sold it hard from the 720s to the 656s. Or we literally break the lows here on the first 10 minutes, which is still like 3 minutes away, and it just keeps dropping. I mean, this is like a swan dive. I'm actually curious. I'm wondering why such a brutally strong sell-off here on the open. Let me see. Oh, nothing. Nothing here. Okay, I think now it becomes. Now we can try and do. Let me cancel this. Let's go into the sell mode, and this would be like in the 50s. Now I think we'll try to see if it breaks and holds the lows of the session, because this is sort of peak panic or peak euphoria in the first 10 minutes. I actually starting to realize now why the 10 minutes makes sense. So this is in the first 10 minutes, you get all the market on open orders, right? Everybody reacting, everybody puking their original positions. So you create peak sentiment, which is expressed in price on the upside and to the downside. And then after that, you get the continuation sentiment, which is a function of longer term traders, institutional traders, who are going to try and decide, yeah, we want to hold this market or want to sell this market at this point. And that's why at the break of those sentiment highs, sentiment lows is actually, when we talk about session highs, session lows, we can pretty much use the word sentiment the same way for them to explain what they are, and we try to break those, and that creates its own sentiment, of course, which is what we're trying to ride on the trade. So still really far away from the trend curve, but now I have to do a second. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do a second chart window, and let's do this one more time. Okay, and where are we? Let's do get over here. Let's go into the sell mode, right? So now, why is this not moving? Oh, there we go. Really? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm like on the one. I'm on like a 1 hour chart. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So not a great. I don't love the setup because it's still very far away from the trend curve, but it's so much momentum on this thing that may be worthwhile to go for. I was trying to go for five. Here we'll go for five. We'll close five. To go for the five. Sorry about that, guys. I was just um, setting up the mechanics of it, but I hope you guys caught it. So so the idea the idea here is, again, you are scalping to the trend curve. Now, we're still far away, but much closer to the trend curve than we were on this peak extreme sell down. And now the next, 2 or 3 candles where we start building retrace levels, I'm going to present maybe even better opportunities to try and establish shorts. So we're going to give it like a couple of minutes to see where we stand. And if I can get a blue-red combo in the next couple of minutes, closer to the trend curve, after I already have a reference point here, I'm going to be in position to take a good trade. So we'll give it a shot here. So it took 5 off of here, but as I said, that was not a great entry because it was still very, very far away from a trend curve. I want to get much closer here. Did you say, Connie? Did you say that the DAX finally came down? Looks like, yeah, DAX finally came in. Good for you. I have I had like 0 patience for it. All right, let's just see how this one shapes up. So I'm hoping this candle kind of stays strong. So we have another green candle close, really at least close to the first trend curve. And then if that's the case, then I'll be able to establish a position at a halfway decent price. I may not be able to. The market just seems to be so weak. But let's give it a shot. Let's see if the short coverings. Okay, this is staying relatively green. Nope. Turn red, and then just like right away, like it wasn't even like if I had this set up as a sell right now, that would have been instant money. But it wasn't a great position, so I'm not gonna run it. Where's my other one? Is this one to the downside? Yeah, this one is set up to the downside. So we're probing. It looks like now we're hopefully going to go into the retrace mode, where we do a little bit of short covering up to the trend curve, and then if we can, put ourselves into a position at that level, we're going to be in good shape here for a possible trade. I hate the DAX. I think you have to be European to trade the DAX because it's so slow for me. But good for you, Connie. I'm glad it worked. I'm gonna watch this one more candle here. Let's just give it. We've got 48, 49 seconds. Still a little bit of rebuilding. So just to summarize, we're in a deep sell down trend on the market open. We found a temporary bottom so far. Prices are retracing, and we're trying to reposition ourselves into the proper sell mode on the trade. I was hoping to get a little bit higher, but we might have to go in this one. Might have to go with this one. We'll see if this. No, that didn't go. I'm not that good. Okay, they didn't get me in, so good. All right, now let me just reset this. Now I'm okay. Now I kind of like if this gives me, this candle stays red, I've touched the lower trend curve. Should be in a decent position here for a short entry with trend, right? I got about 30 seconds left here. Now, what I don't like is, if this goes up, like right now, I don't like the fact that it's going up like this. and it's not staying at the lower end. So it's actually, I'm either going to cancel it or hopefully this stays green, in which case I'm fine because I don't have a trade and I'm going to get higher, better prices later. But I really don't. Oh, no, I'm going to cancel it. Oh, that was dumb. Ah, damn it. Look at that. And it actually did come in. It just kind of faked me out on this move. I still don't like this because it's still playing, it's still like the reach. I thought the retrace was going to be a little bit more, but fine. Yeah, it actually would have worked. But I really don't like it when the red candle is at the higher end of the candle than at the lower end. So the probabilities, even if it does work, I still don't like the probabilities as much as I like it when we get a strong red candle, because that suggests momentum. The sellers have control. But it really did fail right on the trend curve right here perfectly. It would have made money. I don't know if any of you guys took it. Karen says she trades Dow when I say DAX. That works. And look at that. Now, by the way, where's my? Let's make sure that we're on this thing. I want to stay on this like 12 periods. I want to see if we can break the lows here. I still have the low level set up here. I just don't want to. I didn't want it to expire, so I reset the counter. Oh man, sorry guys that this. Okay, so now it looks like we're breaking the lows. What do we got? 30 seconds. Let's see if we can hold the break on this. Breaking the low is one thing. Holding it is completely different. Nope, couldn't hold it, but still a lot of downside pressure. Let's see if they can hold the break here. Second round of selling here. Clearly, this 650 level is a pretty serious battle between the sellers and the buyers. And you see, the buyers trying to buy every dip, sellers trying to force the bids, the buyers off the bid. So far, they've been able to buy it up. Manufacturing was 58.5. Services 58.5. Is that better? Established previous was it was a little bit lower. Oh, we're both lower on the PMIs, but not horrendously. Still very positive. All right, you know what's cool here? So this did not break the lows. I'm actually gonna. I was gonna play around, but no. Let's just stay here because it still seems like they're probing the lows. Let's see if they really do hold the lows on this. It's worthwhile for us to stay in this trade. Really, that 50 level is amazing. How much of a battle this is becoming now. All right, they broke it. Let's see if they take it down a little bit, or if this is all they had. There's a lot of attempts to take it down, so it could be that they get a little bit of a short squeeze here. Oof, man, a lot of fast markets, fast markets, fast markets. Wow, damn it. I'm sorry. I'm watching the futures, guys, and the futures like all got done here. The CFD just still struggling because there was super fast markets down to the 40s, and then they came right back. Okay, gonna have to stay patient with this thing. Let's see. Let's see if they can pressure it again. Nope. This isn't gonna work. So I'm gonna close this out. Nope. It just wasn't enough to the downside. So now we have a big move back up. And if you guys like, I actually think this is kind of a fun. Let's if this thing holds right now. Does it hold at this level? This is just a fun trade. I'm just trading the reversal because it's clear that they've had the short coverings, the hold the 50s, and now if you just want to trade the reversal for the fun stuff, for the fun part of it, be my guest. Although even that is not pressing up. Remember, reversal trades are just for fun only. They're not real trades that I want to trade. But let's see if they can short squeeze it a little bit here. Come on up, baby. There we go. Come on. Look at these spreads. Come on. Wow. This killed me. It came up to like 4 points, and then just totally killed me. All right. Okay. Actually, the right trade right now is me trying to sell this right now because this is now a clear sell signal to the trend. And that's the correct trade. That's where I want to be. And if the spreads do me right, I should be able to get this going. Let's see if this works. Killing me on this. All right, 480, good enough. So again, that's the correct trade. That's the right trade. It's the buy sell combo to the short side, right off the trend curve. Works fine. It looks like we're going to consolidate. I mean, it looks to me there's only two ways to go here. We're either going to consolidate or we're going to break fresh lows. So if we're going to break fresh lows, we can set up a legitimate sell the level trade. Oops, I got to go into close mode into I think it's like the 40s. Right over here. If we're going to really break them, we're going to be staying there. If not, we're going to consolidate here. And then really the next opportunity is going to be probably at around this trend curve over here on the higher end of it, if you want to trade that. Sure, you got the 5 on the futures. Yeah, the futures are going to be a lot easier to execute on these things. CFDs really took some blood from me before they finally executed. So again, it's interesting, the big run up before the open, and then it's just a big sell off. But the sell off clearly came into some support at the 1650 level, and now it's just a battle between the buyers and the sellers to kind of establish is this the bottom, or just a pause because we're going to go to fresh lows. So where's my, so I have the cell down here. I have the other one over here. And this one, I actually want to be in cell mode here. 20, whatever. Because we're getting close again to the, failure on the trend curve. And it might be, I'm assuming this thing doesn't end up like a tiny little red candle, that it stays middle of the body or the end of the body. That's going to be, if we get that signal, it's got 25 seconds, so still got plenty of time. The really cool thing about the tool is that you only need like 4 or 5 seconds before the candle completes to set it, because the tool will read everything within context. So it doesn't have to be pre-set up way ahead of time. It can be sort of set up almost very, very quickly. Excuse me. It doesn't even have to be set up. You just basically hit the sell or the buy button in the sell mode. All right, so that put me into a trade on the trend curve. Medium. I'm not loving this because again, the candle really didn't close on the end. I wasn't watching it as carefully as I should have. So I may be a little bit early on the sell. This could be the start of the V-shaped recovery, but fine. We'll give it breathing room here to see if it excuse me, if it wants to come back down to the trend level. And it looks like, we're going to be making the V. Looks like it's going to be a bottom here. So we'll give it a shot. The other, so like, again, so now let's go back to here. I can cancel this because we're far away from this mode. And here's the other place where I want to be on the sell mode. Oh, sorry, on the buy, close, cancel. Damn it. I wish there was a way to reset this thing when we're in the mode. So I want to go into buy sell mode. I want to go into sell and 5. And the reason what I'm trying to do here is, again, I'm on the trend curve over here, right? If this turns into a sell candle, I want a second position here that is a better position for me than the first position. First position may be a little bit early. If it doesn't, then it's clear that I'm going into a V-shaped move to the upside. The thing that's interesting about this is that when you have a strong trend, the moving average is going to take a while to catch up. So you're still effectively in a downtrend, and you still have the downtrend. The thing is that you want to be taking your trend cues from your moving averages, and if you're in a downtrend, you still want to be looking for possible short positions on the move. If this candle kind of comes in to the red side. And this is going to be my last look for a red, because if this candle turns green at this point, the trend is already compressed to essentially neutral. There's no negative trend, and there's no point in trying to press the shorts. So if this is a retrace move instead of a reversal move, it should pretty much fail here. And if it doesn't, then there's no point in playing it. And also, if the candle is not truly red, like it's got to be here to the downside. Okay, got me. Okay, we're in shorts. And you know, the setup is not working in any way. The trend, there seems to be really, reversing the move here. But let's see. Uh, they're almost coming in. Got it, man. Ah, nope. They kind of tested the lows here a little bit. It definitely did it on the futures, but they're still fighting. And if this candle comes in green, it's not going to be good sign for our trade. So I'm kind of watching the yeah. Let's see if this just one more candle, and if it doesn't cooperate, we're going to be out of this trade. It just missed the move to the downside for us. But let's give it a shot. A little bit more here. 2, 3. Ah, man. Okay, 4 on this one, and then that one starts to come in, and we can close that one. I'll close that one flat. Oops, I missed it. Sorry, guys, I missed it. But anyways, I should have closed it. Ooh, why isn't it closing? Oh, because sorry, never mind. This software is needed to be updated. Okay, so I'm gonna just assume I closed that one because I meant to close it there. So took a little while, but then the second entry did make our move here. It was a little bit of a struggle, and you can see the point being is that I really wanted to show you the value of trading on the trend curve because as I said, the move towards like the second entry here was definitely easier to make the profit farther away from the stop, right? I hope you guys got into the second entry at least on some of it. Cheryl said she got 4 on NAS futures. I don't know if anybody else was trading on the CFDs, but the CFD did move down super quickly for that. So I don't know. Anybody trade that? I'm curious just on the futures. But it's just a good example of this particular technique in action doing its thing, right? Doing its thing in real. Oh, this is kind of cool. I can do this in 4. And I like doing this in the 4 mode. That's really cool, actually. I like looking at this in 4 mode. So okay, so here's where it gets fun also, right? So here's Dow. Dow is positive trend coming down into the trend curve. And if we want to play this, we're going to go into the buy mode on the Dow. So what this is going to do is the assumption here is that, where are we at? 34, 35. If this candle is red, we got no trade. Next candle is green. We're going to be really close to the trend curve and probably in a good position to buy the uptrend. If this candle turns green, that should be a pretty strong signal for continuation mode to the upside, and we'll try to join that for the move. So we'll trade the Dow a little bit here for that look. In the meantime, NAS is now turning positive, right? NAS is now turning positive, and we may have a positive trend now as a next structure in the NAS. Yeah, so Karen, I can't sympathize with you more on this crap, and I this is the thing of the 1 minute chart, especially on the CFDs where it's just like you're fighting spreads as well as entries. like the thing I really realized, and even on the futures where it's super fast. Okay, so Dow just triggered a buy candle. So let's see if we can get like squeeze out 5 out of the Dow right now to the upside on an uptrend move. We'll see if the Dow cooperates with us. Because that was, it's relatively close to the trend curve, not super, it's at least at the trend curve. If this is the perfect trade, this is like a B plus trade versus an A minus trade, which is still okay. Let's see if the probabilities play our way here. We do need a little, it looks like, unfortunately, well, the German is going up. Let's see if they're going to pull up any of the buying moves here. See if the Dow can take me up. Boom. Okay, and that's the trend curve. That's the trend curve. That's the trade that I wanted to see. So, you're absolutely right, Karen, that you really need to focus on the trade. Here's what I will say. Here's what I will say to everybody that kind of really helped me. When you're doing these kind of trades, count on at least 10 to 15 trades a day, right? So, or 10 to 15 trades within a couple of hours, because that's how many opportunities you're going to get. Even like now, we did about 4 or 5 trades in the last 45 minutes, right? It's basically a trade an opportunity every 10 minutes, especially if you're doing Dow and NAS and DAX. There's an opportunity every 10 minutes. So don't worry about screwing up one trade or another trade, and don't try to repair the trade that's screwed up. Just let it go. Focus on the next good setup. The next good setup is on the trend curve. That's where your highest probability trades lie. Just look for that and get into the rhythm. Once you get into that rhythm of just buying on the trend curve, you can go 4, 5, 6 consecutive winning trades. So really important to just keep all of that mental focus in mind. Does that make sense? And you know what? What's funny is again, I don't trade the Dow because I internally only been trading futures and just only trading NAS because I really wanted to refine the setup to a point where I'm just very comfortable and confident in trading the setup. But I realized that it's extendable to, it's a trend setup, so it's going to be extendable to anything you trade. You could even trade this on FX if you wanted to. Although, why you would want to trade anything but the round number run on FX, I don't know, because it's such a great strategy. Let me actually see. I'm just going to check let me see my FX positions. Yeah, hanging in there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's so easy. Yes, and the other thing is, if it's super fast, there are two things that mentally trip you up. One is getting into a trade and mis-executing it, either mis-hitting the target, or getting into a trade late and then having it go against you, right? That's one regret point that we all have, that you need to just shrug off completely. The second regret point, this is the two regret points that always get me into trouble, is the FOMO trade. Oh, I missed, look at this, it was a perfect setup here, I should have been here, now I want to be in a trade because if I missed it here, I definitely gotta make it here. No, you don't. No, you don't, because there's no trade here, right? So don't do the FOMO, because as I said, every 10 to 15 minutes there'll be a new opportunity coming to you, and you want to be ready for that opportunity, not for the one you're going to be forcing. Oh, yeah, well, kids are a huge annoyance. Trust me. So are the dogs. You heard my dog barking in the background too, right? I've just learned how to ignore them. The key thing is to ignore everybody in your family. That's the key to success in trading. So interesting. NAS still getting pressure to the downside. NAS is kind of NAS is remaining in a downtrend trade. And here's what's interesting. So we now have very tight compression to the moving averages, right? And if we are, I'm going to go into sell mode here. So if we get green red combo, we should be in a pretty decent position to to sell at value, because we're close to we're close to the trend curve over here. If this is, as I suspect, a negative trend and not just the last puke of the sellers. The sellers really seem to want to take this down. So to me now, like, the retrace move would be a legitimate sell. Also, by the way, look at the DAX again. I just had like zero feel for it. But here's the DAX. We have let's say this is positive. This is not positive trend here. This is positive trend. We have the sell area here. This is the sell buy combo right in the trend curve, right? So you buy over here, 1402, and it goes all the way up to like 140809, right? With the drop, maybe. No, there's not even much of a drop, because this would have been a buy over here. So it maybe like went down to like 95 against you. See, the NAS is really starting to crash. What's interesting, by the way, is like, ooh, let's watch the NAS. Oh no, we already did the session low. Forget it. All right. The only thing is, maybe this is actually interesting. I'm going to cancel this. Let's play this. If this ends up through the session lows, I'm going to play it just because it's a 10 o'clock break that may be a lot more material. So boom, I'm in on this trade. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if there's more continuation. There's 5 more points of continuation here for this break of the lows. Maybe not. I really thought this would continue to the downside, but let's give it a shot. I'm buying the Dow here at the value just because it gave us a buy signal here, just as a contra trade here. Let's see if that works for me. A little bit late on the entry, so we'll see if I can get this the full 5 here. But again, buying at the value point here. Boom. So the Dow works. The run through the session lows not seem to be working very well today. So we'll just close this out as another failed trade here on the session lows. So the most important point, which is scalping any time of the day in the proper manner, seems to be the right right trade here, which is let's just do. So now, by the way, so this gets interesting. So one last trade, if you guys want to hang with me. We're obviously over time, but let's play this. This is it's kind of far away from trend, right? But maybe worthwhile for us to take a sell candle on this, just because this is a strong trend down, and if we if we get a red candle on this move, it's I think a decent enough. It's not close to the trend, so I should probably be a little bit more patient. But it's not so close to the bottom that I'm really selling the bottom. So I think if this kind of ends up negative, Let me see. I'm just watching it here. I'm watching it on the futures too. I may be willing to let it trade here, but let's see. Not really. No, I'm probably. I should have held my own advice of being more patient on the move. It's too early. It's too early. This is like, if it fails over here, this is where I need to be. So let's do one more over here. I'm going to the sell mode here, against here, and we'll see if I'm better at holding this. So the one cool thing about I don't know if you can trade this in 01s, but the one cool thing about CFDs is because they're so small in you can subdivide them into tiny little statures. You can trade smaller size on the lower probability trade and a little bit larger size on a higher probability trade. So your blended trade would be better, and that would give you a much higher probability of profit, because you're gonna have better prices at larger size if it works. And if the earlier size works, like right now, maybe the earlier size is going to work for us. You still have some, you have a small profit that makes sense here, assuming I can beat the spreads here, which is always problematic. 2.5, 2.7, 3.2. 4. Okay, 7. Good. All right. So boom. So we complete that trade. This one I can cancel now because I don't need to be at the higher level. But with the CFD flexibility, where you have tiny lot sizes, you can kind of stack. And you're obviously in a deep trend. You can stagger yourself into smaller size, larger size, and blend it out into a better trade. But regardless of how you want to do it, the technique, which is really what I really wanted to show you, my cooking technique of the day, which is getting as close as possible to the trend curve and getting into a position at the trend curve, is the place where you want to be. That's the high probability zone. If I could create a little probability zone of success, it's right here. This is the zone of success. This is the zone of success. This is where you want to be on the trades, right? This is the zone of success right here, where you want to be. So hopefully you guys caught a lot of that and enjoyed it. So okay, Cheryl's saying frustrating to lose your self-control. So I'm actually gonna publish a column about this this Friday, and here is my here is my crutch of how I'm trying to overcome a lot of these same impulses you guys are doing. So the first, let's actually, it's Friday. Let's stay for 5 more minutes and let's kind of discuss this, because this is really the key. The single most important thing you need to do, all of you, is to take all the money out of your account until there's just $1,000 in it, right? The rest of the money has to sit in another account or out of your sight. And so what that does is it automatically controls your worst impulses, right? If you don't do this, it doesn't matter what you say to yourself, doesn't matter how you think, you will never be able to control your losses through your willpower. The only way you're going to be able to control your losses is through your bank account. So the first thing you got to do is take all the money out of your account and just leave $1,000 for your scalp account, right? Then the next thing you want to do is you always want to have a stop on your trade. So a lot of times, like, just to show you on my futures, let me just kind of show you let me show you my futures. So if you see my futures always, let me bring this up here. Come on, get over here. My future setup always has a stop. A lot of times does not have a take profit. The reason why it doesn't have a take profit is because I hate the way MT5 executes my take profits. So what I will, if I have a chance, I'll put my take profits directly on the CME servers, because then I'm always gonna hit my target. But I always have to stop, right? And so that's like point number 2. And then the point number 3 is you want to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen if I take this trade, right? And so, just for argument's sake, I'm just going to give my own example of the futures. So the futures, I have a 10-point stop. It's a $20 loss, right? So if I have 5 losers in a row, which is really, really rare, like you got to be really stupid or really unlucky in very poor, trading very, very poorly to have 5 losers in a row, right? What's the worst that can happen today? You just lost $100, right? It's nothing, right? It's nothing. That gives you, by the way, look how nicely the the downside is developing in NAS. The most important thing that you want to do is practice the recipe, which means only coming in when you have trend, only coming in on the trend curve, only coming in with the with the buy sell orders, right? The more you practice that, the more it becomes second nature to you. The more it becomes like driving. You're not even thinking about it, right? You're not even thinking about anything, any other, no other setup will tempt you if this setup begins to work for you nicely, right? But the most important thing is that you want to take it whenever it shows up, because what's the worst thing that can happen? That's hopefully lets you, fly off some steam. But FOMO, gambling, angriness, all of those things are not going to go away. And most importantly, they're all going to be made much worse, much, much worse by the size of your account, right? The larger your account, the more angry you'll get, the more you lose control, the more money you lose. So that's my advice to you. Does that make sense to everybody? So try that. Those of you guys who are on the CFD brokers, it's super easy. You can just transfer all your money into your other trading accounts. And just the thing about this is, you're not going to cure yourself. You have to first fix your own account, and by limiting the account, you won't have fear, and you won't have as much FOMO. And as you reduce that, and then obviously the better you get it, the more it becomes second nature. Then you can double that, and then trade a little bit larger. And then, the point is that when you're doubling small size, it's not going to hurt you, but it's also going to become much more meaningful as you trade larger. Everybody makes the big mistake of like, hey, here's all my large money. I'm going to trade hardcore because I want to make 1,000 a day. Try to make 100 a day. Try to make 50 a day for 6 months before thinking larger, because that's the way. That's the really way you can do this on a long-term basis. I'm fighting the exact same demons as you guys are, but that is the things that have really helped me to control those demons. And the thing is, when you're fighting the demons, you can't focus on the quality of the setup. And ultimately, the only thing that will make you win is not your self-control, but the quality of your setup. So you have to accept your demons and minimize them so that you can really practice the setup, because that is your edge. It's not you being strong in your willpower means dick all, as we say in New York, if you don't have the proper edge, because you'll still make a bad trade and take a stop and still feel horrible, even if you don't double up, or even if you don't FOMO, if you don't think, because the most important thing is to focus on the edge and reduce all the other psychological baggage that comes with it. So hopefully you guys find that valuable. That's my big takeaways from this week's of trading. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. So just to review, everybody really clear on trading on the trend curve, right? With the buy sell setup and the structure. Where's Karen? Karen, you're super quiet. Where you at? Are you banging away on the Dow right now? So just by the way, looking at this, right? NAS looks like, still hasn't, is turning positive. And my new thing is, I'm not going to guess that this is a turn. I'm going to wait. The trend will tell me. The beautiful thing is, look at this. I just want you. This is the final thing that I kind of want to leave everybody with. And actually, let's look at this on the on TradingView, because you'll all see this much better. Let's look at this on TradingView, right? Here's the thing you need to understand about trend. Trend is not transitory, right? It starts at 6 or 7 and it goes until 9, right? We have a tiny little beep here. It's not even a beep here. It's just a corrective mode. So effectively, it starts at 9:30 and it goes until about 10 o'clock, 10:30, right? That is 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 35 minutes of persistent, continuous price action in one direction. What we're trying to do is be on the highest probability side of the directionality of the price, right? So don't worry about finding the turn in price. Just remember that once you have trend, you generally have, this starts at 4, and it goes all the way out to 5:30, and between 30 minutes to 90 minutes of persistent price action. Sometimes you have less. Sometimes you have like 5-10 minutes of persistent price action until it's basically consolidation. And yes, you will have those moments, especially obviously during low liquidity times where this is Europe morning, and you're going to have like between 11:30 New York and maybe 1:30 New York, you're probably going to have the same kind of structure again. It's fine. When you have that structure, you may your setups may not work, or they may only work once. You may only have like one setup working, and it's okay. Just understand that range is going to happen. But what you're looking for is those clean 60 or 45 minute to 90 minute continuations of movement where you can get yourself properly situated. And if you're not, if the trades are missing, it's not your fault. It's basically that what's going on here is that there is very little trend continuation over price, right? It's just literally we're trading range, super slow. At which point, by the way, what's good is that if you can see range over in the next hour where the highs and the lows really have been broken, then it's easy enough to step back and say, okay, I'm just going to wait until fresh trend establishes to either fresh highs or fresh lows, at which point I can start to position myself at new levels, right here. So you don't get angry at the trades. You begin to understand why the trades are working or not, and then wait until you have the right regime so the technique starts to work. Like you can't get mad. You can't get mad at the food that isn't ready to be cooked yet if the gas stove, if the skillet isn't warm enough. Like you're not going to make meat in a cold skillet, right? So why get upset? You just have to wait until the skillet gets hot enough so you can actually do the recipe. Same kind of idea. Really lame ass analogy here, but at least it's relatable. All right, my friends, thank you so much for everybody hanging out with me. Let's see if we get maybe another 45-50 minutes of continuation to the upside here today, as the trend starts to turn back up, and look for more entryways over here. All right, thank you guys. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you next week. Next week, we're going to go to 10 to 11, Tuesday through Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye.